Today I'll be talking about an important topic, which is inflation. We will cover what it means, the types of inflation, and what drives it in Malaysia. What is inflation? Inflation is the steady rise in the prices of goods and services over time. For example, if a loaf of bread cost RM2 last year but now costs RM2.50, that is inflation. It's measured using the consumer price index CPI, which tracks the prices of everyday items like food and transportation. A little inflation shows a healthy economy, but too much reduces the value of money. Think about it. RM100 today won't buy as much in the future if inflation keeps rising. Malaysia has experienced both high and low inflation. In the 1970s and 1980s, global oil crisis caused inflation spikes, but during periods of strong economic growth, policies helped keep inflation stable, like the Zero Inflation Campaign in 1995. In Malaysia, we mainly see three types of inflation. Number one, demand pull inflation, which is too many people chasing too few goods, often due to increased government spending. Second, cost push inflation, which is higher production costs like rising wages lead businesses to raise prices. And lastly, imported inflation. When the ringgit weakens, imported goods become more expensive, raising local prices. Causes of inflation in Malaysia. Key drivers include: first, money supply. More money in circulation can push prices up if supply doesn't match demand. Second, exchange rate. A weaker ringgit increases the cost of imports. Third, external factors. Global events like oil price hike or regional financial crisis also impact inflation here. Inflation affects everyone. It reduces purchasing power, raises business costs, and challenges the government to maintain stability. However, moderate inflation can support growth, benefiting asset owners like property investors. In conclusion, inflation is shaped by domestic and global forces, and understanding it helps us make informed financial decisions. By managing inflation wisely, Malaysia can ensure a stable and growing economy.
Okay, let's move on to the sector with the highest inflation rate. Malaysia inflation rate stood at 1.8% in March 2024, with the consumer price index CPI rising to 132.2, up from 129.9 a year ago. The housing, water, electricity, gas and other fuel sector, along with restaurant and accommodation service, saw the highest inflation increase at 3.0% each. Rising water supply costs, particularly in Kedah, contribute to this height, surging 31.4% in March. Food beverage inflation also rose nationwide, with Selangor leading at 3.2%, followed by Penang at 2.8%. Analysis warned that rising global food and energy costs, coupled with local tariff hikes, could pressure households, especially in urban areas. Meanwhile, the lowest inflation rates were recorded in June 2023 at 2.4%, with healthcare 2.1% and recreation and culture 1.5% experiences lower growth. A 29.4% drop in RON97 petrol price at government fuels subsidies is transportation costs, providing some relief to households. As inflation remains dynamic, monitoring key sector will be crucial for understanding its impact on Malaysia's economy.
Hello everyone, let's bring everything together and explore how inflation impacts us. Today, we'll focus on its three major effects: cost of living, investment and growth, and purchasing power. Let's break it down and see how this connect. First, inflation raises the cost of living. Prices for basic like food, fuel, and housing go up, which means families have to spend more just to get by. Think of it this way: if you usually spend RM50 on daily expenses, inflation might increase that to RM70. For many households, especially those with tight budgets, this leaves little room for saving or other priorities. Next, inflation affects investment and economic growth. Rising costs like for materials and wages make businesses hesitant to expand or hire. Inflation creates uncertainty about return for investors, leading them to hold back. However, when inflation is moderate and managed, it can boost the economy by encouraging spending. So it's a double-edged sword that requires careful balancing. Finally, inflation reduces purchasing power. When prices rise faster than wages, your money buys less. For example, RM100, which used to cover groceries for a week, might now only last a few days. This hit low-income families the hardest, increasing inequality and financial stress. It's like trying to fill a leaking bucket. The more you earn, the less it's covered. In summary, inflation affects us by raising the cost of living, slowing economic growth, and reducing purchasing power. We can make better choices and adapt to these challenges by understanding these impacts.
5.1 Important for economic stability. Control inflation is essential for ensuring economic stability. Stable inflation allows business to plan effectively, boosting profitability and encouraging investment. This increased investment drives demands, boosts national income, and support economic growth. By maintaining stable inflation, we create a foundation for sustainable development. 5.2 Important for public welfare. Control inflation improve public welfare by increasing the value of fixed assets like land and property, enhancing financial security and quality of life. It also preserves the purchasing power of money, helping households manage expenses and reducing financial stress. 5.3 Important in attracting foreign investment. Stable inflation creates a competitive market, improving business profit margin, and attracting foreign investors. This influx of foreign direct investment generates jobs, transfer technology, and enhance productivity, strengthening the economy and positioning the country for growth.
Now we will move to the recommendation and strategy against inflation. First is price control. Price control refers to the government intervention in setting and regulating the price of goods and services in an economy. Price control can help to keep price affordable for consumers, particularly for essential goods and services. Next, we have effectiveness in monetary policy. Central bank maintains price stability through inflation targeting, typically aim for 2 to 3% annual inflation to ensure steady economic growth and avoid deflation. Lastly, government and private sector corporations control inflation required governments and private sector corporations, with the government using fiscal policy, monetary measure and regulations, while private sector adopt responsible pricing, invest in productivity and collaborates on wage stability to ensure economic growth and stable.
Inflation in Malaysia has shown signs of easing in 2023. For instance, in June 2023, the inflation rate slowed to 2.4%, marking the lowest rate in the first half of the year. This suggests a stabilization in the cost of living compared to previous months or years. In conclusion, Malaysia inflation shows signs of easing, but it's still influenced by sector-specific factors, including energy price and essential goods. It highlights the need for balanced economic policies to manage inflation while addressing rising living costs in key sectors.